Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another Star Wars news update. In today's video we have so much news to get through. We're going to be talking about an exciting tease for the finale of the Book of Boba Fett, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and more. So without much further ado, and without any more jibber jabber, let's dive straight into it. So we're going to begin with some big news for the Book of Boba Fett, because some wild rumours have emerged for the finale. As we build up to the storm breaking, as Fennec put it, where Boba Fett is probably going to face off against Cad Bane and the Pike Syndicate, many fans are wondering, what else can we expect? The other day, I covered the rumours of other big cameos that a couple of outlets are reporting on, and these are the same guys who correctly told us that Luke, Mando and Grogu were in this show, way before they even appeared. But now, viewer anon who've been dropping a series of really interesting hints over the last few weeks are confirming something that Temuera Morrison said a while back, that Chapter 7, the season finale, is not what we're expecting. If you thought that Chapters 5 and 6 were a curveball, apparently the season finale is going to make us look back at the season very differently, and Morrison said it's going to wow fans as it indeed wowed him. So by the sounds of things, something is going to come up that we're really not expecting. I don't want to repeat my theories that I've put forward in the past, but now viewer anon have added some new information. A week ago they said that there's going to be a sequel trilogy connection in the finale, and many fans following chapters 5 and 6 assumed that this would be a young infant Ben Solo with his parents Han and Leia, especially after we saw the academy being built in chapter 6. But now they're saying it's got nothing to do with Luke's academy whatsoever. It could still be Han Solo with a young Ben, but they're implying it's going to be something different altogether. As much as many fans dislike the sequels, ultimately this is all one big story, and if seeds are going to be planted in the Book of Boba Fett, I'm really curious to see who or what that is. I've speculated on Ochi of Bestoon, who was hired by Lady Qi'ra in the comics, and he also featured in episode 9, but at this point, it's anybody's guess. I would say in either case that Han Solo is a likely candidate, maybe even with Leia and their son, given all those bizarre under-the-radar reports that Harrison Ford filmed for 3 days in the UK, and since Lucasfilm is getting much better with their de-aging algorithm, it is a strong possibility. Tatooine podcast recently reported that we might be taken back to Takodana in the series finale, but as with everything, rumours should always be taken with a pinch of salt. In either case, what I want to see in the finale is the showdown between Cad Bane and Boba on his Rancor. In a huge way, Cad Bane is a reminder of Boba's past, a symbol of what he used to be, the cold-blooded killer who was a badass bounty hunter. And Cad Bane is also important because his appearance opens up so many possibilities for flashbacks. And of course the fact that he faced off against Fennec 30 years earlier during the Bad Batch. Not to mention Cad Bane is also a connection to Omega and Boba's father Jango. Could we see some sort of flashbacks? The menacing bounty hunter is not messing around, and I just love the intensity he brought to chapter 6 and the energy I'm sure he's going to bring in the finale. I've seen some people say that live-action Cad Bane is more menacing than Darth Vader. I don't know if I'd go that far, but he was terrifying indeed. And another thing, something tells me that Cad Bane might finally meet his demise in this show, and maybe we'll see a version of the unused Clone Wars arc in live action, but this time, many years later, and Boba may finally defeat him. It would be such a shame to kill off such an iconic bounty hunter from the Clone Wars, but at the end of the day he is getting old. And Duros age similarly to humans, which means that Cad Bane would be in his 70s. But going back to the rumours and all of the leaks we've heard over the last few days, say what you will about the 2 previous episodes that Robert Rodriguez directed, he knows how to pull off an amazingly directed episode when he needs to, and I think that's what we're going to see in the finale. And because he's the showrunner of the entire series, I'm starting to think that he deliberately gave himself those previous 2 weaker episodes to pack a punch in the finale. He's received a lot of flack, especially for the biker gang, but by next week, I would hope that we're not going to have any complaints. Given that he's directing, I also suspect that it's going to be far more Boba-centric than the last 2, or at least, I really hope so. So now, my dear Mandalorians, let's talk about the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, because a Disney Plus executive has accidentally revealed that the Kenobi series is going to release in May. This is something we already suspected after LRM Online said that Kenobi's first episode is probably going to air during or after Celebration, so it's going to be later in the month, with the Bad Batch Season 2 premiere taking that May the 4th spot. So let's see what happened, because the Disney executive did a little oopsie on Twitter. The Kenobi series promises the rematch of the century. It's arguably the most anticipated Star Wars project of all time. Much has been made in recent times about the release window for the series, which is currently classified as coming soon this year. Rumours have long suggested that the show will drop in May, and the slip of the thumb by a Disney executive further solidifies things. In a now deleted tweet, Disney Plus Enterprise and Global Program Manager Brandon Sangiovanni accidentally revealed that the Obi-Wan Kenobi series is going to hit the streaming platform in May. He has since walked back the post, claiming that he was referring to the newly announced Marvel comic Star Wars Obi-Wan, which also releases in May. But let's be real, he is clearly backtracking, and ever since, he's made his Twitter profile private. This deleted tweet is the strongest indicator yet, but it's probably going to be later in the month, as I said, airing during or after Star Wars Celebration. Time will tell when we get an official announcement, but oh my goodness, Obi-Wan Kenobi is coming in just a matter of months. Just let that sink in. An excellent piece of news. So now, my dear friends, let's talk about Cobb Vanth, who almost certainly survived Cad Bane's shot to the shoulder, but that is not what we're talking about. What we're going to be speaking about is Chuck Wendig, who wrote Cobb Vanth in the Aftermath Trilogy before he ever came to live action in The Mandalorian, and how he is enraged that he was given no credit for the creation of Cobb Vanth in the credits of Chapter 6. Now, you may or may not know, the author Chuck Wendig is pretty controversial, so as you can imagine, this garnered a lot of attention. Regardless of what you think of him, let's take a look at the story. The creator of the character Cobb Vanth got passive-aggressive at Disney on Twitter. He sarcastically wrote, "I always dig it when big media properties have a special thanks for the writers and creators who contributed to their worlds and stories, and it's a bummer when they don't do that, and I bring this up for absolutely no reason at all, and I will almost certainly delete this tweet." His character Cobb Vanth, who in live action is played by Timothy Olyphant, returned to our screens after his debut in The Mandalorian Season 2 in the Book of Boba Fett Chapter 6. And it is a sad thing in the industry with big corporations that they forget about the artists and writers who created the magic in the first place, and credit does deserve to be there. And it is quite sad that most people, the majority who will watch these shows, think that Cobb Vanth was created for The Mandalorian. But he was written as an incredible character in the Aftermath Trilogy, and his appearances in The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett only contributes to that overall character. But here's the thing, as many people pointed out, there was no contractual obligation on Lucasfilm's part to credit the creator of a character from a trilogy of books. Yes, it's true they adapted his creation for live action, but Disney and Lucasfilm reserved the right to do that when they hired him to write the Aftermath trilogy of books for them. After that, the character is Disney's, and they are under no obligation to give him credit in the credits for live action shows or movies. Many writers and artists have come forward in the past about being given credit for their characters. I absolutely believe credit should be given to those writers, and yes, props to him for creating Cobb Vanth, but Disney and Lucasfilm doing this is nothing new, because ultimately once the characters are written, they legally own the rights to everything, every character, name, species, planet, you name it. But ultimately, yes, Wendig does deserve credit for creating one of the most awesome characters from the Disney Star Wars era, and Timothy Olyphant plays him amazingly. And so finally, my dear friends, Asajj Ventress is back. She has returned to Star Wars after a very long hiatus, this time in the comics. In issue number 1 of Galactic Star Cruiser Halcyon Legacy, there is a flashback to the Clone Wars as Asajj Ventress fights Anakin Skywalker, wielding her signature 2 red lightsabers. Padme watches on as Anakin is caught in a duel with the first person he ever used the dark side against in Star Wars Legends. Now, while this is just a flashback, it may not be the last time Disney want to use Asajj Ventress, although it's difficult to know where, considering she died in 19 BBY. Awesome stuff, my dear friends. I just can't wait for the Book of Boba finale. We are now just 4 days away. Super exciting, but I guess the sad thing is, once it's over, we have to wait a few months until the next Star Wars project. I guess we'll just have to be patient, because some amazing Star Wars content is coming our way. So if you guys enjoyed this one, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Subscribe if you're brand new, and a huge welcome if you are. And why not click that link in the description and check out my Patreon page. There are so many videos for you to enjoy that are not found here on YouTube. But until the next one, guys, may the Force be with you all. I'm Star Wars Meg. Have a good one.